On Tatooine, Darth Vader hunts a rebel contact when something far more important reaches his senses. In the middle of dust, heat, and silence, he feels a child with raw force potential, unlike anything he has known in years. That single feeling changes everything. Because the boy is not just strong in the force, he feels familiar. Vader follows the presence through Mos Espa's market, past broken vaporators and traders who move aside the moment Imperial boots hit the ground. He sees a skinny farm boy arguing over parts, all eyes and energy. Then it happens. A crate slips from a loader. Before it can crush a merchant, the boy throws out his hand. The crate jerks, stops, and slams into the sand. No one understands what they saw. Vader does. The Dark Lord freezes. For 1 second, Anakin Skywalker lives behind the mask. Padmé, Tatooine, a son. The thought is impossible, yet the Force keeps pulling him closer. He asks the boy's name. Luke, a traitor blurts out. Vader says nothing, but the galaxy tilts. He does not ignite his saber. He does not call the Inquisitors. Instead, he clears the street and studies the child in silence. Luke stares back, afraid, but not broken. There is fire in him. The same fire Vader once carried. Far away, Obi-Wan Kenobi feels a shock through the Force. He knows that presence. He knows that fear. After years of hiding, he looks toward the Jundland wastes and realizes the worst has happened. Vader has come to Tatooine early. By nightfall, Imperial transports circle the Lars homestead. Owen reaches for his rifle. Beru pulls Luke behind her. In the dark, a shuttle descends through the sandstorm, and as its ramp lowers, Obi-Wan begins to run, knowing he is too late. Vader moved before dawn. Stormtroopers surrounded the Lars homestead, but he gave a command. No blasters unless he ordered it. Owen Lars ignored mercy. He raised his rifle and fired. Vader caught the shot on his glove, tore the weapon away, and slammed Owen into the wall. Beru rushed for Luke, but the boy stopped when the black shape entered the yard. Then Obi-Wan came out of hiding. His lightsaber cut through the dark, and for the first time in years, master and fallen apprentice faced each other. But this was not a battle for pride. It was a battle for Luke. Obi-Wan tried to draw Vader away from the house. Vader fought to reach the boy before the Jedi could escape with him. Their blades struck fast, sending fire across the sand. Luke watched in silence as Ben Kenobi moved like a warrior from another age. For a moment, Obi-Wan succeeded. He pushed Vader back and shouted for Luke to run. But Beru fell when the roof collapsed from the shock of the duel. Luke turned back at once. That choice doomed everything. Vader stretched out his hand and dragged Luke through the sand into his grasp. Obi-Wan lunged, but Vader blasted him away with force power. Then, behind the mask, a thought took shape. If the Emperor found Luke, Palpatine would take him, twist him, own him. Vader would not allow it. He called his shuttle, erased its signal, and sent a report to the Empire. Kenobi had abducted the child. No Jedi would find Luke. No Sith would claim him first. As the ship rose into the night, Luke looked and asked, "Where are you taking me?" Vader stayed silent. Below, Obi-Wan could watch the stars swallow the boy he had sworn to protect. Luke was gone. And now Obi-Wan had to decide whether to chase Vader, or prepare for the day Anakin Skywalker turned his own son into a weapon. Vader hid Luke far from Imperial charts, on a cold fortress world where storms beat against black stone and no one spoke the Skywalker name. The Emperor believed the child was dead. The surviving Jedi had no trail to follow. In that silence, Luke's childhood ended almost at once. Vader trained him without mercy. Mornings began with drills, balance, and pain. Afternoons became lessons in control, patience, and fear. Nights brought history, but never the full truth. Vader spoke of betrayal, weakness, and the failure of the Jedi. He called compassion a trap. He called anger a tool. Luke listened because he had no choice. Yet the boy kept asking the same question, "Why me?" Vader never answered clearly. Sometimes he said, "Because you are strong." Sometimes he turned away, as if the truth wounded him more than any blade. Years passed. Luke grew taller, faster, harder. He learned to sense danger before it struck. He learned to move objects with a thought. to break droids with a gesture, to fight through pain and keep standing. But he also learned something Vader could not crush. Luke noticed the moments when the mask slipped, a pause before punishment, a hand withdrawn instead of closed, a silence whenever his mother was mentioned, though Luke did not know why that word mattered. The conflict inside Vader grew with every lesson. He wanted Luke sharp enough to survive, ruthless enough to challenge the Emperor, but not empty enough to become another slave of the dark side. That balance could never last. One day, during a combat test, Luke disarmed 3 purge troopers and held his blade at the throat of the 4th. Vader ordered him to strike. Luke refused. The room went still, and for the first time, Vader ignited his saber at Luke. Luke had finally defied him, and in that flashing red light, Vader had to choose: break his son, or reveal the truth that could destroy them both. The years of hiding ended when the rebellion began to burn across the stars. Cells struck supply lines, freed prisoners, and spread hope faster than the Empire could crush it. Palpatine demanded results from every sector. Vader offered him a new weapon, Luke. Now older, sharper, and colder, Luke entered battle at his father's side. He piloted black starfighters through rebel formations, boarded corvettes with purge squads, and cut through defenders before they could warn their command. Each mission made his name more feared, even though the rebels did not know who he really was. Vader told Luke the rebels were liars who sold chaos as freedom. He said the Jedi had failed the galaxy once and would fail it again. But on one raid, Luke saw something that cracked that lesson. Rebel fighters chose to hold a corridor so civilians could escape. They died buying strangers time. There was no profit in it, no cruelty, only sacrifice. Luke hesitated for the first time in combat. Vader felt it at once. After the mission, he cornered Luke in the hangar and demanded obedience. Luke asked the question Vader feared most. If they are evil, why do they die for each other? Vader answered with anger, not truth. He sent Luke on a final test: hunt down a rebel courier carrying names, routes, and hidden base coordinates. Luke tracked the target to a shattered moon, ignited his blade, and stepped from the smoke. Then the courier turned around. It was not a soldier, but an old man in desert robes. Luke froze. Ben Kenobi looked at him with grief, recognition, and one impossible word: Luke. In that instant, the mission became a choice, and the choice became a war inside his soul. Vader's shuttle descended behind him, engines screaming through darkness. Luke had found the enemy he was raised to hate, but standing before him was the first man who looked at him like he was meant to be saved. The wind howled through the broken carbon freeze chamber on Bespin, and Luke Skywalker stood still. Blood dripped from his shoulder. His lightsaber hummed weakly in his trembling hand. Across from him, Darth Vader waited, cape shifting in the steam, breathing slow and heavy. "Join me," Vader said, "and together, we will end this destructive conflict." Luke's eyes burned. He looked down at the endless pit below him. One step, and it would all be over. But Luke did not jump. He did not scream. He did not run. Instead, he raised his lightsaber again. "No," Luke whispered. "I'll finish what Obi-Wan started." And in that single moment, the galaxy changed forever. Vader paused, just for a breath, because deep inside that black armor, something flickered. Pride, fear, maybe even hope. His son was not broken. His son was a warrior. Luke lunged forward. Blue clashed against red. Sparks flew across the chamber walls. This time, Luke fought with everything he had, not with rage, but with purpose. Vader pressed him hard. The Sith Lord swung with crushing power, driving Luke back toward the ledge, but Luke ducked, rolled, and slashed upward, cutting deep into Vader's shoulder plate. Vader staggered. For the first time in years, the Dark Lord bled. "Impressive," Vader growled. "Most impressive." But Luke was already moving. He used the Force to rip a steam pipe from the wall and hurled it at Vader. The pipe exploded against the Sith's chest, knocking him to one knee. Luke didn't wait. He turned and ran, not in fear, but with a plan. He had to escape. He had to warn the rebellion, because now he knew the truth. Vader was his father. The Empire was rotting from the inside, and the Emperor was the real enemy. Luke leaped from a Cloud City window, falling through the swirling orange sky. The Force guided him. He grabbed onto a weather vane, held on tight, and called out with his mind, "Leia, please hear me," and she did. The Millennium Falcon roared through the clouds. Lando Calrissian, now a rebel ally, opened the bottom hatch. Leia reached down. Their hands met, and Luke was pulled to safety. As the Falcon shot into hyperspace, Luke collapsed onto the floor, breathing hard. He looked up at Leia, his sister, though he did not yet know it. "We have to strike now," he whispered, "before the Emperor finishes his plan." Back on Bespin, Darth Vader stood in the wreckage of the chamber. Stormtroopers rushed in around him, but he raised a gloved hand to silence them. He had felt it, the shift, the change. His son had refused him, but not out of weakness, out of strength. And in that strength, Dining Vader saw something dangerous, something the Emperor would never allow. Vader turned slowly toward the dark window of the chamber. His mechanical breathing filled the silence. For the first time in 20 years, Anakin Skywalker stirred beneath the mask. On the Death Star 2 construction site near Endor, Emperor Palpatine sat upon his obsidian throne. His yellow eyes opened slowly. He felt the disturbance ripple across the galaxy like a crack of lightning. "So," he hissed, "the boy has chosen." He smiled, cold and cruel. "Then let the fires begin." Palpatine raised his bony hand and sent a message across the Empire. Every Star Destroyer, every garrison, every Inquisitor, all were called to action. "Operation Cinder," he whispered, "begins now." But this time, it was not just a backup plan. This time, it was a full extermination order. Any world that had ever helped the rebellion would burn. Alderaan was only the first. Now there would be dozens more. The Emperor wanted fear. He wanted obedience. And most of all, he wanted Luke Skywalker on his knees. The rebellion gathered in secret. The Mon Calamari fleet, led by Admiral Akbar, met with the surviving rebel cells deep in the Outer Rim. Mon Mothma stood before the holotable, her face pale but firm. "Reports are coming in," she said softly. "The Empire is striking civilian worlds. Millions are dying." The room went silent. Then Luke stepped forward. His robes were torn. His arm was bandaged, but his voice was steady. "We have to fight back," he said. "Not later, now." "But we're not ready," one rebel general argued. "The Empire is too strong." Luke shook his head. "They will never be weaker than they are today. Vader is wounded. The Emperor is desperate. If we wait, there will be no galaxy left to save." Leia stepped beside him. So did Han Solo, freshly rescued from Boba Fett by a daring rescue mission led by Lando and Chewbacca. The smuggler smirked. "I'm with the kid," Han said. "Let's punch the Empire in the face." Mon Mothma looked at the faces in the room. The decision was made. The rebellion would no longer hide. They would attack. The first strike came at Kukat Drive Yards, the heart of the Empire's shipbuilding power. Rebel starfighters poured out of hyperspace, catching the Imperial fleet off guard. X-Wings tore through TIE squadrons. Y-Wings dropped proton bombs into half-built Star Destroyers. The shipyard burned. The galaxy gasped. For the first time, the Empire was on the defensive. But Palpatine had been planning this war for decades, and now, his most secret weapon began to wake. Deep within the unknown regions, behind walls of shadow and Sith ritual, an entire fleet of unfinished warships stirred. Ships that no rebellion spy had ever seen. Ships designed by the Emperor's own hand, the Eclipse-class Super Star Destroyers. The first of them, longer than 17 kilometers, slowly powered up its engines. Its black hull glowed with the heat of activation. Its cannons could shatter planets. Its hangars held thousands of TIE defenders. The Emperor smiled from his throne. "Let them strike," he whispered. "Let them feel hope before I crush it forever." On the Executor, Darth Vader stood alone in his meditation chamber. He removed his helmet slowly. His scarred face stared into the mirror. For so long, he had served the Emperor. For so long, he had been a slave to the dark side. But now his son was alive. His son was strong. His son had chosen. And Vader, for the first time in decades, began to wonder. What if the boy was right? What if there was still a path, back to the light? He closed his eyes, and in the silence, he felt her, Padmé. Her voice was soft, like a memory carried on the wind. "Anakin, please." Vader's gloved hand trembled. The mask hissed open beside him. He placed it back on his face. He could not tell the Emperor what he was feeling. Not yet. The dark side would sense weakness, and the Emperor would punish him, or replace him with Luke. So Vader played his role. He commanded his fleet. He chased the rebellion, but in his heart, a quiet rebellion of his own had begun. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, ancient powers began to stir. On Dagobah, Yoda felt the war beginning. The little Jedi Master sat beside his hut, eyes closed. He could feel the Force itself trembling. So many lives, so many choices, so much pain. Begun. The new war has, he whispered. But hope still flickers. Yes. On Mortis, the cosmic plane between light and dark, the father, daughter, and son had long been thought dead. But now, something stirred again. A shape, a whisper, a balance shifting. On Exegol, hidden in the dead zone of the unknown regions, dark Sith cultists began to chant. They had felt the Emperor's plan accelerate. They prepared their cloning vats. They prepared for the worst, or the greatest outcome. The Force itself was choosing sides. And then came Hoth's revenge. The Empire, in its arrogance, returned to the icy world to crush the last rebel stragglers. But this time, the rebels were ready. Hidden ion cannons opened fire on Imperial walkers. Snow speeders danced between AT-AT legs, dropping cables and bringing them crashing down. Luke led the charge from the air. He flew his X-Wing with deadly grace, his Force connection growing stronger every day. He destroyed 3 Imperial walkers single-handedly, and the rebel cheer echoed across the snow. The Empire retreated for the first time in the war. The galaxy was watching, and the galaxy began to believe. Worlds that had sat in fear began to whisper. Worlds that had hidden their hatred for the Empire began to act. Coruscant itself, the Imperial capital, saw its first riots in 20 years. The fire was spreading, but the Emperor was not afraid. He was excited. In his secret throne room, Palpatine turned to the only other figure in the chamber. A hooded man, a creation, a clone, a weapon. Soon, Palpatine whispered. Soon, the boy will come to me, and when he does, I will turn him, or I will replace him, with you. The hooded figure bowed silently. His eyes glowed yellow under the hood. The Emperor laughed. A cold, dry, terrible laugh. "Let the Skywalkers come," he said. "Let them all come, for I have written the end of this story." Long before they were even born, far away, Luke Skywalker stood on the deck of the Mon Calamari flagship, staring out at the stars. Leia walked up beside him. She placed a hand on his shoulder. "You did the right thing," she said softly. Luke nodded slowly, but his eyes were distant, troubled. "I can feel him, Leia," he whispered. "My father. He's changing, but I can also feel something else, something darker, something waiting for us." Leia frowned. "Then we keep moving. We don't stop. Not until the Empire falls." Luke turned to her, his blue eyes shining. "This isn't just a war anymore," he said. "It's something more. The Force is changing. The balance is breaking. And whatever comes next will decide the fate of every Jedi, every Sith, every life in this galaxy." Last lines. In the deep silence of Exegol, a cold voice spoke from the shadows. "He is coming." And somewhere far above the dying stars, a fleet of Sith warships began to rise from the dark. The galaxy did not know it yet, but the true war had just begun. Luke had finally defied him, and in that flashing red light, Vader had to choose: break his son, or reveal the truth that could destroy them both. The years of hiding ended when the rebellion began to burn across the stars. Cells struck supply lines, freed prisoners, and spread hope faster than the Empire could crush it. Palpatine demanded results from every sector. Vader offered him a new weapon, Luke, now older, sharper, and colder. Luke entered battle at his father's side. He piloted black starfighters through rebel formations, boarded corvettes with purge squads, and cut through defenders before they could warn their command. Each mission made his name more feared, even though the rebels did not know who he really was. Vader told Luke the rebels were liars who sold chaos as freedom. He said the Jedi had failed the galaxy once and would fail it again. But on one raid, Luke saw something that cracked that lesson. Rebel fighters chose to hold a corridor so civilians could escape. They died buying strangers time. There was no profit in it, no cruelty, only sacrifice. Luke hesitated for the first time in combat. Vader felt it at once. After the mission, he cornered Luke in the hangar and demanded obedience. Luke asked the question Vader feared most. If they are evil, why do they die for each other? Vader answered with anger, not truth. He sent Luke on a final test. Hunt down a rebel courier carrying names, routes, and hidden base coordinates. Luke tracked the target to a shattered moon, ignited his blade, and stepped from the smoke. Then the courier turned around. It was not a soldier, but an old man in desert robes. Luke froze. Ben Kenobi looked at him with grief, recognition, and one impossible word: Luke. In that instant, the mission became a choice, and the choice became a war inside his soul. Vader's shuttle descended behind him, engines screaming through darkness. Luke had found the enemy he was raised to hate, but standing before him was the first man who looked at him like he was meant to be saved. The wind howled through the broken carbon freeze chamber on Bespin, and Luke Skywalker stood still. Blood dripped from his shoulder. His lightsaber hummed weakly in his trembling hand. Across from him, Darth Vader waited, cape shifting in the steam, breathing slow and heavy. "Join me," Vader said, "and together, we will end this destructive conflict." Luke's eyes burned. He looked down at the endless pit below him. One step, and it would all be over. But Luke did not jump. He did not scream. He did not run. Instead, he raised his lightsaber again. "No," Luke whispered. "I'll finish what Obi-Wan started." And in that single moment, the galaxy changed forever. Vader paused, just for a breath. Because deep inside that black armor, something flickered. Pride, fear, maybe even hope. His son was not broken. His son was a warrior. Luke lunged forward. Blue clashed against red. Sparks flew across the chamber walls. This time, Luke fought with everything he had, not with rage, but with purpose. Vader pressed him hard. The Sith Lord swung with crushing power, driving Luke back toward the ledge. But Luke ducked, rolled, and slashed upward, cutting deep into Vader's shoulder plate. Vader staggered.